Hello and Happy New Year from Catalan News in our first show for 2018. As the Christmas period comes to an end, time for rest in Catalan politics does so too. After the December 21st elections, won by the pro-independence parties, an intense January lies ahead. In the coming weeks, the new parliament has to appoint its president and bureau, and soon afterwards, a new Catalan president for the next government. The candidate for the parties for a Catalan state is Carles Puigdemont, but he's in Brussels and could be arrested as soon as he sets foot in Catalonia. Can he be appointed remotely though? Here at Catalan News, we'll get you the party's opinion on this possibility, and we'll also interview a doctor to talk about the new episode of the flu sweeping across the country. 3 jailed pro-independence leaders are testifying in court this Thursday. Vice President Oriol Junqueras, who remains behind bars, was denied release again last week. The chances that any of the 4 are freed anytime soon are scarce. This is relevant because 3 of them are elected MPs, and the pro-independence majority will be put on the line if they can't be present. But they are not the only elected MPs who will struggle to attend the first sessions in the chamber. January is set to be a busy month in Catalan politics.
January 17th. This is the date set for the constitutive session in the Catalan Parliament. A new president and bureau for the chamber have to be appointed on that day. The pro-independence parties have a majority of seats, so they shouldn't have any problem regaining control of the parliament under ordinary circumstances. Yet it is unlikely to be so straightforward. They have 70 out of 135 seats, with the majority at 68. Yet 8 of them probably won't be able to turn up. 3 are in prison with little chance of being freed or getting permission to attend Parliament. 5 more representatives are in Brussels and risk arrest and jail should they set foot in Catalonia. With 62 MPs, they would be 4 short of what the rest of the parties could muster together, meaning some officials in Brussels might have to step down. Even if the pro-independence parties can use their majority, Carme Forcadell is hesitant about repeating her role as Parliament President. She is under investigation for rebellion by the Spanish judiciary and faces up to 30 years in prison. Whatever happens, a vote to appoint a new Catalan president has to be held by January the 31st. With no majority, a 2-month period to find an alternative would open up before an automatic snap election is called. Carles Puigdemont is the pro-independence majority's candidate for president, but he is still in Brussels.
During the electoral campaign, Puigdemont pledged to return to Catalonia if he was to be appointed president, even if that meant being arrested and jailed. Now time is running out, and he has to make a move soon if he wants to take office again. His candidacy, Together for Catalonia, claims that there is no alternative for Puigdemont, but they have not disclosed whether he will return or not. Some voices say that appointing him as president at a distance is one possibility. The Catalan Parliament regulations don't foresee this option, but nor does it ban it explicitly. So parties, political commentators and experts have had their say on the issue over the past few hours.
I la resposta també és molt simple i molt sintètica. Nosaltres entenem que el govern ha de poder governar amb el que això vulgui dir des d'un punt de vista pràctic, però en qualsevol cas el govern ha de poder governar des del minut 1.
Y además se piensa que se puede gobernar por WhatsApp o por Skype una comunidad autónoma como Cataluña, y no se puede, ya se lo digo.
A still recurrent topic in Catalonia is the Spanish Civil War. Remnants of this brutal past can be found throughout the country. For instance, the Republican trenches in the western town of Montgai. In the last few days of 2017, these dugouts were vandalized, with many passages being obstructed. But the public response has been almost immediate, and a team of volunteers is set to help clean the space up on January 20th. The vandals have not yet been found, and it will cost several hundreds of euros to undo the damage that was seemingly done with no political motive. Luckily, one of the most precious elements remains unharmed, a star reading "Long live the Spanish Republic" in Spanish and Catalan. Let's move on to health now. One more year, Catalonia has officially declared an outbreak of the flu. It's ordinary at this time of the year, but it's causing the same issues as always. Emergency rooms in hospitals are much busier than usual, as trade unions in some hospitals pointed out today. They say that although the situation is the same every year, no extra staff have been hired. What's more, calls to the emergency services have increased by 12% in the past few weeks, and home visits by doctors have gone up by 57%. The Catalan Health Department says that the best way to protect oneself is to get a flu shot. To go more in depth about the latest flu outbreak in Catalonia, we will now speak to Antoni Tria, Head of Epidemiology at the Hospital Clinic in Barcelona. Good evening, Dr. Tria.
Good evening.
What is the current situation of the flu season in Catalonia? Has the worst already come?
We are just starting the increasing period of the flu season. There is a lot of cases at the time being, some severe cases in older people, and we believe that it's just the starting of the peak point of the flu season here in Catalonia.
Is there anything exceptional about this year's outbreak?
So far, we have been a little bit surprised by a change in the virus. When we made the vaccine last year, we believed that the virus prominently circulating will be, to say, the green one. But at the time being, we had the surprise that a V virus, a blue virus, is circulating that is not included in the vaccine. So this season is also hampered by a lack of effectiveness of the vaccine against the flu.
How does the current flu season in Catalonia relate to trends in other countries?
At this time, the Northern Hemisphere is under severe, let's say, flu season, especially the northern countries in Europe, England, all the UK, and the southern part of Europe, Spain and Italy. The situation in the United States is more or less a little bit different from here in Europe, but as far as today, it seems, although it seems a little bit strange, a normal flu season.
Are the resources at your disposal enough to face the flu season? And what could be done to make your work easier?
Each flu season, we have been in a shortage of healthcare professionals, in a shortage of beds, long delays, waiting times for being admitted in hospital. This is winter pressure. Every year we face some 3-4 weeks with strong winter pressure. This time of the year is under severe winter pressure here in Catalonia. Hopefully a better financing of the system, better planning of the system, and probably more resources, human resources and fundamental resources like beds, spare beds, could be of help. It's been a long time since it happens year after year, so I think it's time to plan a little bit further in ahead.
Dr. Tria, thank you very much for being with us.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure to talk with you today.
The flu outbreak is something regular as the winter festive season comes to an end. As the new year sets in, many people might be trying hard to stick to their resolutions, not only because of the flu, but also after the copious amounts of food and drink consumed over the Christmas period. Indeed, wine and cava is a staple on many families' dinner tables throughout Catalonia.
Like many other countries in the Mediterranean, fermented grapes play a large part in Catalan culture. Indeed, the Catalan tradition of winemaking goes way back, all the way to 400 BC, when it is believed viticulture was introduced by the seafaring Phoenicians and Greeks. Some of the more well-known wine-producing parts of the country include Priorat, Montsant, Terralta, Penedès. And those Catalans who enjoy a drink in a responsible way every now and then are proud of the product's origins, thinking along the lines of, why buy French or Italian when there's perfectly good stuff here? But nowadays, Catalan wine's popularity is also growing around the world. In fact, Catalonia has more exporting wineries than anywhere else in Spain as a whole. There are 10,000 wine growers and 853 wine companies operating in the country, generating a combined turnover of 1.6 billion euros. The biggest importers include Germany, the US, the UK, France, and Canada. Even Japan has a penchant for wine produced in Catalonia. In Germany and the US, the two main wine importers in the world, consumption is constantly on the rise, which is good news for Catalan wine merchants. So, the next time you raise a glass abroad, check the label. There's a chance that wine might have been produced in Catalonia.
If you noticed bad weather over the last few days, you were not alone. Heavy rain and strong winds swept through Catalonia yesterday, hitting the northeast and central region particularly hard. It hailed during the weekend in many areas, and it's even thought that the weather was so bad in some places as to be classified as a tornado, and the areas it affected as disaster zones. In the north, over 200 houses were left without electricity, with vehicles crushed and houses left with structural damage. Meanwhile, the south of the country saw 93 litres of rainfall per square metre, while a town in central Catalonia is petitioning for classification as a disaster zone in the aftermath of the storm. And that's all for us in our first show of the year. Before we leave though, we take you to the counties of Pallars Sobirà and Pallars Jussà in the Catalan Pyrenees. Here, the Cultural Camboleta Association is celebrating its 10-year anniversary, and with it, the release of a CD of children's songs. Some of the music is performed by the little ones themselves, and some by local groups. Enjoy, and we'll see you tomorrow.